You're listening to That Home Loan Hub. I'm Zibuni Salimova, here to make home loans and property investing simple, smart and stress-free. Let's get you closer to your property dreams. Hello and welcome back to That Home Loan Hub. Hello, Kunch.
Kia ora, how are you?
I am feeling pumped. I've just come back from somewhere very exciting.
Yes, tell us about that. Where have you been?
Not in Cyprus, that's for sure. That would be exciting too.
But in Christchurch, though.
But in Christchurch, also
Yes.
starts with a C.
Yes.
Christchurch. So there was a Financial Advisor New Zealand conference. It was the first time I've ever attended that. It's been going on for years and years and years. But this was my first time ever
Wow.
attending it.
Wow, I thought you would have been to every single one every year since you've been an advisor.
Well, look, my kids were much younger back then.
Yes,
and
okay.
I couldn't really leave them for this long. And it was always a choice between, going to my own aggregator conferences or, other conferences outside of it. So I always had to make this tough choice, as all of us mothers do, right?
Yes, got to balance it, right?
Yeah, 100 balls in the air. And the kids were young and I couldn't leave them for long. But this week I was very lucky. They were with their dad and I could go away for a week and just absolutely immerse myself into this environment. And what was fascinating about it is for the first time ever I was at a conference where there were three pillars of our industry, right? There was mortgages, there was insurance, and there was investment.
Yep.
And I've never been to anything to do with investments before. So that was exciting.
Cool.
And I'm talking about shares and managed portfolios, not just property investment, but actually
the wealth side of the investments. Yeah.
So that was really cool just to see how, where the industry is going and what do we need to do. And did you know, fascinating facts is majority of New Zealanders are not getting professional financial advice. And this,
there is a gap there. Financial literacy, professional advice. I guess hence why I left my banking career to come into this career, so then I can educate and get people on board on that financial advice train.
Yeah, so the gap is massive compared to our counterparts of Australia and UK and Canada. People there tend to get professional advice. Here in New Zealand, we tend to listen to our Uncle Bob at the barbecue.
Yes.
Or, our friends and family at the netball or softball versus...
Unless they're a financial advisor telling them, giving them free advice right there on the sports line.
Exactly. But it's become very apparent that it's super important for people to go out and get that advice because that sets them up for the future. Because apparently what's going to happen in the next few years is that we've got the baby boomers that are coming into, a lot of them coming to a lot of money and that money is getting passed on down generation. Yeah. So what do we do with that money? How do we not blow that money away? Yeah. And how do we help our clients to get ahead in life? Because what's going to happen next is generation after them, like our children, it's going to be harder for them to buy anything.
100% harder.
Right?
Yeah.
So we've got this...
It was hard for us.
It was already hard for us, but it's going to be even harder for the kids. So we've got this very disbalanced, disproportional seesaw where on one side we've got older generation, lots of money, and then we've got the younger generation, no money.
No money. They're just literally working and spending it.
And because they don't have the good solid basis of what to do with that money, when they get that money passed on to them from their grandparents, they're just going to blow it. So we need to help them to make sure they don't just waste that money if we can. So that was a really good takeaway. The opening was amazing. The keynote speaker, Vanessa Stoikov, absolutely blown away by that woman. She's an absolute powerhouse and I was very honored. She sort of took me under her wing a little bit and I felt like a big sister, small sister vibe going on there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, big sister, little sister.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, even her surname, I said to her, she's got a Serbian heritage and obviously I've got Soviet heritage, so we've connected on that part.
Nice.
And the fascinating bit was she's got a cat that looks like my cat.
Here you go, you and your vibe.
Absolutely blew my mind. She's got 3 boys as well. I have 3 boys and I was like, and I've got a daughter. She's like, I wish I had a daughter too. So, there was a lot of connections that we made. And there were a few other powerful guest speakers as well that were at the conference. International speakers as well. So we had speakers from America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. It was awesome to connect with my team members that are sitting with me on the mortgage advisor committee with fans. I've never met them in person. We only met online for the last 3-4 years. So it was awesome to see them in person and share that, what's the pains in the industry, what they're seeing, what we're seeing. And the takeaway for me was, regardless of how much people earn, regardless of their status, we all have the same fundamental needs. We all want to be loved. We all want to be heard. We all want to be respected and feel like we're doing something great.
Yeah.
And that became very apparent as I was talking to all sorts of advisors. They all want to help their clients.
Yeah. It's that word, help.
Yeah, we're all here for the same purpose. So that was really, really cool. The highlight, again, was for me, I was put on stage. That was really cool. I got to host a women in financial advice breakfast, and we had over 80 people attending that breakfast. Yeah. And I had to deliver a powerful message of why we're running this committee and what we want to see, what's the purpose, what's the future. So that was awesome. And
what did you say?
Good one.
What was the powerful message?
The powerful message was that we are seeing more and more men getting advice, but not women.
Yeah.
And this is the two avenues of this industry where we don't have enough women providing financial advice, but we also don't have enough women getting financial advice. So this is the two avenues that we need to go down and help on both spectrums at the same time.
So just to balance it up with that disproportion.
Yeah, how do we get more women into the industry? And I mean, you've been around me a long time and you can see that I'm passionate about women and, I'm building a team of very strong.
Well, we do. Majority of our team are all females.
Exactly.
Which is amazing to see.
Exactly. Poor James.
And Matt.
And producer Matt. But yeah, that's really the message, is that how do we get more women into the financial advice scene? And then how do we give women more advice? Because what happens is, if we get more women into the industry, more women will go and seek that advice. Because
absolutely.
At the moment, if you're separating from your husband and he did all the finances, you don't know anything about the money, you want to go get professional advice. Most of the financial advisors are men.
Correct.
So how are you going to talk to another man about your issues if you're a female? Because they're not going to understand you, because men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So, fundamentally we're different. Yeah. And if we have more women out there providing that advice, more women will connect with us. Yeah. So it's sort of, win-win situation for both. Yeah. And I mean, look, I have nothing against men. There are some fantastic men providing fantastic advice. And yeah, it's awesome that they can go out there and do that while mamas can stay at home and, bond with the babies, breastfeed, etc. But I think it should be all about the balance. When you're in partnership, both should pull in their skills and strengths.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're living in a world that it is about balance and equal, right? So women do need to, a little bit more encouragement from their men counterparts or their partners and things like that to be like, let's get on board. I need you to understand this as well.
Because you know what, another thing that came out from that conference, from Vanessa's speech, was absolutely blew my mind. I thought, wow, this is true. As the parents age and as whatever happens to the parents, guess who is in charge of their finances? Which child is it?
The oldest.
The oldest daughter. Not even the son, but the oldest daughter. So now we have a situation where a woman, could be a wife, staying at home, her parents are getting sick and old and she has to deal with their finances. Yeah. And she doesn't even know what to do with her finances, let alone her parents' finances. Yeah. And that absolutely blew my mind when I drew that, comparison in that case study. I was like, oh my God. So yes, absolutely the oldest daughter, right? I mean, you're the eldest daughter.
I am the oldest daughter.
And you ended up sorting out your parents' finance.
I have. Yeah.
And you see, I've got two brothers. I'm the youngest of my family. But anything to do with finances comes to me.
Because you're the daughter.
Because I'm the daughter and I'm the only daughter.
The only daughter. Yeah.
So yeah, like how do we get more women into the industry? How do we get more women to provide advice? So basically that was the highlight of the conference. And a few other bits and bobs came through about the overall economy, with Trump imposing tariffs and how's that going to affect,
Yes.
with China in the seas carrying out all sorts of naval activities, so how does that
Impact.
Yep. The, Australia, New Zealand, islands, etc. So there's a lot of uncertainty, but a lot of confidence in terms of let's control what we can control.
Correct. Control the controllable.
Don't give in to the media.
Yeah.
And the drama.
The hype that gets hyped up.
Exactly. So, that was a really cool conference. And next year it's going to be in Auckland.
Good, because I was a little bit FOMO. So next year I'm coming.
Absolutely. Next year you're coming, and I think the rest of the team as well, because I really think it's powerful to be in those conferences, to develop yourself professionally, because we had like ministry.
And you leave inspired, don't you?
Oh, totally. I mean, look at me. I'm
I know, you're
pumped.
like pumped on a Monday.
Woo! I'm like an energized bunny.
Yeah.
So, so definitely a lot to learn, a lot to gain, a lot of connections that were made, and also seeing where AI is going. So we had Panos, the Greek god, as they call him. He was presenting us with AI technology and the future of AI. He cloned himself to attend Zoom meetings.
Right.
So
Wow.
I know, right? And he was showing us his little clone that
So
goes
does
to...
he have an avatar
Yeah,
of himself?
yeah,
So then when he meets his client, the client sees the avatar,
yeah,
and then the avatar literally answers the question that gets...
yeah.
Wow.
And he did it so well that you can't even tell that it's not him. It was absolutely amazing. But you know what else happened that was really, really cool? So Nick Hakes, the CEO, the one I did a podcast with a few weeks ago before the conference. So Panos created an avatar for Nick, right?
Yeah.
And Nick delivered this message, and it was Nick's voice and Nick's way of speaking. And Panos said to me, "Oh, I got Nick's voice from a podcast." And I said, "Really? What podcast?" Mine. He got Nick's voice from my podcast. How good?
So you're going to send him an invoice then?
Yeah. Panos, if you're listening.
Invoice is coming your way.
No, it was really cool. I think I became good buddies with Panos as well, because he sat with me at the table and we had good time there. So it was really, really cool. And what was awesome as well to see is at my table, I also had Naomi Ballantynes. Do you know who Naomi Ballantynes is?
No idea.
She is the legend of the insurance industry.
Oh.
She set up 2 insurance companies and sold them off. Recently, the one that she sold off was Partners Life. Naomi Ballantyne, absolute legend. She retired last year. She's been...
Oh, I think I did read an article about that, but I just didn't connect the name. Yes.
Absolute powerhouse of a
Yeah.
woman, but so humble and so sweet and just so
Yeah.
amazing.
That's what you want though, right? Someone successful, but also humble and remembers their roots.
Yeah. She was awesome. So she got an award as well as a lifetime member. So it was awesome to have her at my table too. Like I was absolutely blown away. I got sat next to Nick, the CEO, and all the other keynote speakers. So I don't know how I ended up there, but
Siboniso on the table of all the bigwigs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was sitting there pinching myself going, is this for real? How did I earn my seat at this table? It was a multi-billionaire dollar table.
Yeah.
And I was there.
Yeah.
And it was cool. I think it was the white dress. I think every time I wear that dress, I attract I think maybe they think I'm a bride, and the bride usually sits at the top. I don't know. But that was really cool. It was really cool to make those connections. And then we went out for, after the dinner, drinks, and again, connected.
In a more casual atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
When you get to know them a bit more personal.
Yeah. So absolutely, you guys are coming with me next year. We're gonna rock the scene, and we're gonna help more New Zealanders get more financial advice, better financial advice.
Sounds good.
Ever before.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So I guess that's it. Really, that was the highlight of the conference.
Sounds like so much fun. I've got so much more questions, but we'll leave it at that for now.
All right.
Yeah.
Tune in for the next one. See ya.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on That Home Loan Hub. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join me next time for more property tips and tricks. Your next smart move starts here.